you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. And one of the things that I wanted to jump in to talk to you guys about today has to do with Apple. Apple apparently is having a really hard time right now. There is this crazy thing going on with the Apple Watches and a trademark dispute that I think is worth talking about because I think it speaks to the way Apple does business. And effectively, right now, Apple Watches won't allow are not allowed to be sold in their current form, at least the latest version of the Apple Watch. And so I'm going to read some of this to you so you guys can kind of know what's going on. Now, do me a favor. If you haven't done so yet, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe, and also feel free to go to boycewatkins.com if you'd like to learn more about financial literacy or get a copy of my new book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm done coughing. All right, so it says here that according to CNBC, Apple has lost a bid to delay an impending ban on the Apple Watch, according to an International Trade Commission filing. Only a last minute. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm still choking. Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I was sitting on the phone talking for a really long time, and I didn't have any of these issues. And then suddenly, when I go live, I just start choking everywhere. My apologies for that. All right, so it says here that only a last-minute White House intervention can prevent a pause in the watch sales in the U.S. Apple has lost a bid to delay an impending Apple Watch ban. Apple said earlier this week that it will stop selling 2 Apple Watch models released this year, the Apple Watch Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra 2. On its website starting Thursday and in Apple stores starting after Sunday. The company will still sell older models, so you can still buy the older Apple Watches. You just can't get the new one. Thank you, Rashad. I do have water, Rashad, so I'm going to drink some water. Give me a second. Let me know if I sound better. I'm truly sorry for this. Let's see. President Joe Biden can still veto the ban, but has not given an indication that he will. So they're literally asking President Biden to intervene to stop the sale, to stop the ban on the sale of Apple Watches, which is the craziest thing I've ever seen. So U.S. Trade Representative has the president's delegated authority to make these determinations. Karen Jean-Pierre said, adding that Ambassador Catherine Tai is carefully considering all factors in this case. Let's see here. In addition to the infringement claims, so basically the reason that Apple Watches are being banned apparently has to do with a copyright infringement issue. It says that here that basically Apple is accused of violating a company's copyright as it relates to the blood oxygen sensor. The move is in response to orders issued by the International Trade Commission in October that found that the Apple Watch's blood oxygen sensor had infringed on intellectual property from Massimo, a medical technology company that sells to hospitals. On Wednesday, the ITC denied Apple's motion to stay while the original decision was being appealed, which would have allowed Apple to continue selling the devices. The decision means that Apple is closer to being prevented from selling one of its most important products in its largest market during the busiest time of the year for Apple sales. Previously imported Apple Watches can still be sold if retailers have them in stock. So basically, Apple effectively is being just body slammed here. They're set to lose billions of dollars because they're accused of violating the copyright. Now, here's the thing about Apple that's really interesting. And by the way, let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Give me a yes if you can hear me okay. Also, please hit the thumbs up button. And don't forget this podcast is on Spotify. So if you want to hear me choking on Spotify the way I choked, and I see Kelvin said I'm choking just like the Detroit Pistons. Yeah, the Pistons are terrible, by the way. The Pistons, I think they're on their way to having one of the worst seasons in NBA history. I think they've already had one of the worst seasons. I think they're on their way to having the worst season ever, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know if that's changed or not. But anyway, if you want to hear me choking on Spotify, you can go find me on Spotify as well. But here's the deal with Apple. Let me just kind of give you some context on this and why this is interesting. So Apple is known, they're kind of notorious for stealing people's copyrights. They kind of do what a lot of big companies have been accused of doing. Honestly, even Tyler Perry was accused of doing this. Now, I'm not going to say that he does this or if he does this or not, but he was accused of this. What a lot of people would have accused Apple and also even Tyler Perry and some other big companies of doing is having meetings with people that have good ideas and saying, we're really interested in your idea, right? So you get super excited because Apple called you and said that they want to either partner with you or they want to even possibly acquire you, right? So people get real pumped up about the fact that they may actually be acquired by Apple, which is going to be their big payday. Well, actually, what would happen instead is that Apple would would meet with the company and have a conversation and say, you know what, we offered you $2.50 for your business, and you said no. So unfortunately, we can't make a deal. And what they claimed that they would do to these companies is they would start copying their technology. They would start stealing their technology immediately. And next thing you know, Apple has created their own version of whatever you have. So they call that, I think they call that like the kiss of death. Literally, they say that when Apple calls you and says, we want to meet with you, we're thinking about partnering with you, we want to acquire you, we want to do business with you, they said you better run because that means that you have something Apple wants and Apple may actually come along and take what you have. Now, how often does this happen? I don't know. There's always going to be haters that accuse the leader of doing things that are unethical, but that does not mean that they're innocent. So let's see here. It says here that Massimo CEO Joe Chiani, Massimo's the company that's accusing Apple of stealing their copyright. They've accused Apple of misleading their company by engaging in acquisition and partnership talks, just like I just said, before systematically poaching their technical staff. So that's another thing they do. They go and hire your people and then replicate your product. Chiani told CNBC on Monday that Apple had not reached out to settle. I don't care that much about the Apple leadership, given about what I know about how they run the company, Chiani said. I still extended the olive branch and offered to work with them for the betterment of people and our shareholders and didn't even get a call. An Apple representative declined to comment. A company spokesperson previously told CNBC that Apple was taking all measures to return the product to the market in the U.S. So effectively, Apple is it's a pretty massive multi-billion-dollar company. There are people who believe that Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook, a lot of these companies kind of debo their way to dominance. That unfortunately, the dark underbelly of capitalism is the engagement in what are called pretty much anti-competitive practices. So the anti-competitive practices that you might see, for example, might be Google, which has been accused of acquiring companies just so they don't have to compete with them. Like literally like buying the company and bringing in all the employees from the company, and then the employees are confused because they're like, wait a minute, you hired me and you're not asking me to do any work. Well, that's because they don't really want you doing any work. They want you to just sit there, shut up, and let us make money with what we were doing before. We just don't want to have to worry about you growing up and becoming a competitor, right? So this is kind of what a lot of these companies are dealing with. And it happens in a lot of other industries. I know in sports, the NCAA achieved dominance by pretty much purchasing any competitor that emerged. Like I think the NAIA was emerging as a competitor to the NCAA. And because they didn't want to pay the athletes and they wanted to keep their wages down, they went and they bought the NAIA for an exorbitant amount of money just so they would not have to compete. So this anti-competitive behavior is pretty prominent. It happens all the time. And, what can you do about it? Nobody knows. Okay, so anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Let's see. Vic says I'm watching you on my Apple phone. My brother, got much respect to you, man. All right, so I didn't want to talk too long. I just want to come in and talk to you guys really quick and just say hello. Also, I want to remind you, look, if you want your kids to learn about wealth, we're doing a live Black Millionaires of Tomorrow training for children. If you are interested, you can text the word stock to 89748. Text stock to 89748. I'll send out a link. We're doing a big discount where your kids can join literally and get lifetime access to the material for 76% off the fee. The fee is $299 for the training. We take 76% off. That means $71. And the thing is, with this class, your kids will have this material for life. It will make a difference for them for life. And kids of all ages are invited. I would say 6 and up. as long as they can pay attention on a Zoom. It's being taught by Asia Kirkendall, who is the author of a book called Quantum Wealth Theory. And then also on the 1st of January, I'm doing an economic consciousness training that's going to go 30 straight days, where every morning we're going to do a wealth lesson. And we're actually going to use my book called 30 Days to Wealth and Power. And so that is also $2.99, but you can actually get in free if you get a copy of the book. So if you'd like to get a copy of the book, just go to drboycebooks.com, and in the search box, search for 30 days. Just search for the word 30 days and you'll find a copy of the book. Once you get a copy of the book, we'll send you the link where you can join us for free. All right, guys. So do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I'm about to head on out of here. It was great talking to you, and I hope